Look, let me start with a question that might feel uncomfortably specific. Have you ever checked your bank account, seen a number that's not terrifying for once? Maybe it's five figures, and instead of feeling calm, you actually feel more stressed. Because suddenly it's like, I can't mess this up. I worked too hard for this. What if I lose it? And weirdly, you feel less free than when you were broke. If you've ever thought, why does having more money feel like more pressure? Yeah, that's literally the moment everything changes. And today, I want to talk about why $20,000 is the number where money stops being simple and starts being psychological. My name is Nick, and I spend way too much time thinking about money, behavior, and why people who make decent income still feel financially stuck. If you're someone who saves money, tries to be responsible, but still feels anxious every time your balance changes, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because here's the thing, most people think life changes before $20,000. I'm telling you, it changes after. And this is where it gets really interesting. Look, let's challenge a belief right away. Most people think money stress disappears once you have enough. That is not how the human brain works. According to behavioral economists, stress doesn't decrease linearly with money, it shifts. When you're broke, your stress is survival-based. Can I pay rent? Can I eat? But once you cross roughly $15,000 to $25,000 in savings, something strange happens. Your stress becomes loss-based. Now your brain isn't asking, how do I survive? It's asking, how do I not screw this up? And loss aversion, this is important. Psychologists at Princeton found that losing $100 hurts roughly twice as much as gaining $100 feels good. That means once you have money, your brain becomes more defensive than ambitious. Here's what most people don't realize. Money doesn't reduce anxiety, it changes the direction of it. Let's talk numbers. Before $20,000, every $1,000 feels huge. Every paycheck matters. Mistakes are painful, but temporary. After $20,000, your decisions start compounding. A 10% mistake is now $2,000. A bad car purchase can erase months of progress. And look, this isn't theory. According to the Federal Reserve, nearly 60% of Americans can't cover a $1,000 emergency. Only about 12 to 15% have $20,000 plus saved. That means if you're here, statistically, you're already ahead. But here's the trap. Once you reach $20,000, bad decisions get louder than good habits. Before, saving $500 felt like winning. Now, one impulse decision can undo weeks of discipline. This is where people either level up or slowly slide backward without realizing it. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Nick, but why do people actually mess this up? Great question. The answer is identity conflict. Your brain still sees you as the person who used to struggle, but your bank account says something else, and that mismatch creates tension. So people subconsciously upgrade their lifestyle a little, justify bigger purchases early, and relax discipline too soon. This is called financial permission slip behavior. I deserve this. I've been responsible. I can afford it now. And look, sometimes that's true, but here's the uncomfortable part. Most people don't lose money through one big mistake. They lose it through 100 justified ones. This is where it gets really interesting. Before $20,000, saving is enough. After $20,000, saving alone is actually risky. Why? Inflation. At 3% inflation, $20,000 loses roughly $600 in purchasing power every year. Over 10 years, that's thousands gone silently. So now you're forced into a new role. You're no longer just a saver, you're a decision maker. And decisions introduce fear, overthinking, analysis paralysis. This is why people freeze. They don't want to invest wrong. They don't want to move money incorrectly. So they do nothing, which is also a decision. Here's something no one prepares you for. Once you have money, people expect you to always be rational, always be responsible, never mess up. And that pressure is heavy. You stop experimenting. You stop taking calculated risks. You become overly conservative. Ironically, this slows wealth growth. According to Vanguard studies, long-term investors outperform cautious timers by 2 to 3% annually. Fear-based decisions cost more than bad markets. So the skill you need after $20,000 isn't discipline, it's emotional regulation. Part 6. What actually changes after $20,000? The real shift. Let me be very clear. $20,000 doesn't make you rich. It makes you aware. Aware of opportunity cost, risk reward, and your own emotional patterns. Here's what most people don't realize. Money starts revealing who you already are. If you avoid discomfort, you'll avoid investing. If you chase validation, you'll overspend. If you fear mistakes, you'll stagnate. Money doesn't change you, it amplifies you. So what do you actually do? Here's a simple system that works. Bucket 1. Safety. 6 to 12 months expenses. This money does nothing. It buys peace. Bucket 2. Growth. Index funds. Long-term, boring. This is where money works. Bucket 3. Enjoyment. Guilt-free spending. Planned, intentional. This separation removes emotional confusion. You stop asking, can I afford this? And start asking, which bucket does this belong in? That's maturity. The biggest mistake isn't investing wrong, it's thinking you've made it. $20,000 isn't the finish line, it's the starting gate. This is where habits matter more than hustle, systems matter more than motivation, and psychology matters more than math. Look, I know this stage feels heavy, but here's the truth. This is the moment you stop reacting to money and start directing it. Most people never get here, and if you learn to manage this stage properly, everything after it gets easier. Not effortless, but calmer. And calm is underrated. So if you're sitting there with savings that took years to build, feeling pressure instead of pride, you're not broken. You're just leveling up. The rules change at $20,000, and now you know them. If this video helped you understand your money better, hit the like button. It helps the channel more than you think. Subscribe if you want honest conversations about money without the fake hype. And comment below, what was the first thought you had when you crossed your biggest savings milestone? I'll see you in the next one.